Hi there, this is Lee Thurburn, and you're on Livestream Lee. And I'm going to welcome you back to another episode where today we're going to be talking about the no code development platform known as Bubble.io. Now, we started this on Friday of last week. I gave you a kind of a basic introduction, and let me just kind of continue that introduction. There's certainly tons of people out there that are working with Bubble. It is one of the most exciting software development environments to ever come around, primarily because you don't have to be a software engineer to be able to use it. It is a wonderful platform. Before I get started, I want to just introduce you to a couple of things. First of all, I want to invite you to go to apricotrocket.com and get an account, because that technology platform is a way for you to be able to grow your business faster. Now, Apricot Rocket is a platform technology that I built over the last 5 years now, without using Bubble. So it was built on an actual LAMP stack code platform. It is in many respects like Facebook and LinkedIn. Facebook is great for helping you to connect to people that are in your social sphere. LinkedIn is great for helping you extend your business professional network. Apricot Rocket is great for helping you to be able to get exposure to potentially more customers. And that's what our focus is to help you grow your customer base as a business. Now, what I'm going to be showing you on Bubble is actually going to deal with a pivot that our company is in the process of making. And so I'm using Bubble personally as well, first of all, I'm enjoying using it to learn how to use it because I'm kind of just a software geek. I like that. But I'm also using it as a modeling tool for how I want to do a pivot with our system and the platform that we built. So what I'm about to show you is going to actually do a little bit of that. Before I jump into that, I want to introduce you to a guy that I'd like to introduce you to, and hopefully you'll be interested in getting to know. His name is Dan Nelson. He's a genealogist, and Dan is a master storyteller. I'm a big history fan. I like learning and stuff about history. Dan does research into people's history, and he tells the stories that exist in their background. Some of them are really interesting. But he publishes a newsletter every other week, once every 2 weeks, every other week on Saturday. And it is filled with kind of tidbits, historical tidbits that he comes across as he's doing research. And he has some really great stories. So if you like generalized history, especially about the United States, if you like to keep up with kind of what's going on and keep a historical perspective on our current times, you're going to like Dan's newsletter. Go to livestreamlee.com. livestreamlee.com and click on the Dan Nelson link and sign up for Dan's newsletter. You're going to be glad you did. It's a lot of fun to read, and you can always unsubscribe if you don't want it. So anyway, that's all about Dan. Okay, now put this little banner up. Now I'm going to switch over and share my screen. And I think I'm going to go, I believe I'm on the Bubble editor. Let's see what comes up. Yeah. All right. So here is the Bubble editor workspace. And again, on the left-hand side, you have all your different workspace sort of tools, design, workflow, data, styles, and other things. Now, this big area to the right is a redesign of the Apricot Rocket website that I've been working on. And a redesign is we're about to shift Apricot Rocket over into being a marketplace directory and marketing system. And now it's built on what we're going to be doing. I'm going to show you is we're going to be extending the technology that we've spent the last 4 years, and we're actually going to be bringing it to market specifically in the realm of being a marketplace directory that people can list their businesses in. So what I'm going to do here is this page has very little functionality in it, but I'm going to show you what it looks like. So this is what the page looks like. Now I have a very wide screen, so things are kind of spread out, but this is it. This is all that I've got. Now, if I come over here, I can't really click on, I guess I could click on this directory element. Let's see what happens. I clicked, nothing happens. I don't have any action behind the element. So here's an element that I drew, a panel with basically just some text fields and a Learn More button. And if I click on the Learn More button, it's going to take us to a page, which is the it's a model, a mock-up for what I'm doing in terms of pricing. I'm actually going to talk a little bit about this because I think you might be interested in. But before I go into that, I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you how that transition function works. Okay, so here's the page that I clicked on, the Learn More link. And I'm going to come back over to Bubble. And now I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to click on this element. So this button is an element. So I click on the element and that just highlights it. Now, if I double click, you'll see an element editing panel, control panel comes up. And so this is a button that's called Learn More. So it's the Learn More button. And basically you just edit this button in a number of ways. Well, first of all, I can change what the button says. Come on, click here. So I changed the button, what it says, by just editing this field, and it's real time, it's live. So I'm going to go ahead and change it back to Learn More. And then I can style the button and with a lot of different styling tools. Now, the button has its own basic style, but you can turn the standard style off, and then you can come down and you can do things like change the colors and the font sizes and all that kind of stuff. Pretty much typical styling. But here's what's interesting. I'm going to click on Start Edit Workflow, and that takes us to the workflow tab for this button. So it says when button directory is clicked on. Okay, so that I clicked on, there's no click for the directory. So you see that there's no action here. When button Learn More is clicked on, it says go to start page, go to page start listing. So if I click on this element here, a panel comes up and it says go to page start listing. Well, I'm just going to start this over. I'm just going to delete that. So by default, when you go into the workspace or into the workflow space, you hover over a panel and this shows you the element that you're controlling. So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to click on an action for the element. So what kind of action do I want? I want a navigation action where I go to a page. So I'm going to choose navigation, go to page, and basically a page control panel element comes up where I can tell it what page to go to. So I select go to start listing page. Okay, so I can send it anywhere I want to. Actually, I'm going to go to, I guess, start listing page. I'm not sure. I've kind of forgotten which page it is, but I'll go ahead and click that link. So now I've made that change. There's nothing to save. It's just automatic. So if I come back to design, it's already done. So now if I come back to the page that's on screen, you'll see it says we just updated this page. Please refresh the page. So I'm going to go ahead and refresh the page. So I made a change to the page now, and I click on Learn More, and I took us to the Start Listing page, which actually is the page I did take you to. So great. This is the Start Listing page. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come over to the Start Listing page, and I'm going to show you what's the functionality here. To do that, I'm going to go back into the page where I'm editing things. I'm just going to close this out. So this is where I'm editing the page. I'm going to come up here to the upper left-hand corner, Pages. I'm going to go to the Start Listing page. So I'm going to call it into the editor so I can edit that page. And now I'm going to come down to the elements that I've built. And each one of these is a little different. So here's what I did. I created a panel and I put stuff in this panel. Now, I have decided that I'm not actually going to be offering something for free. I'm going to be offering, it's $10 a year. So I'm going to go ahead and change this to $10 per year. And I'm going to get rid of the asterisk because, well, actually, I think we'll leave the asterisk up. So $10 per year. Okay, so I've just made that change. Now I'm going to go ahead and control this panel, and we come down. I do have dollars. This is $10 per month, $10 per month, $50, $10 per year, $50 per month. I'm going to come on down. So these elements here that look so nice and neat have to be individually created. Okay, so I'm just going to click on shopping cart and double click, and this is a text box. So if I wanted to create this again, I'm just going to show you how I did this. Okay, so I'm going to scroll down here to the very lowest portion of the page, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you that there's a little red line at the bottom. It says 1,079 pixels long. So I'm going to actually, I'm going to double click here. I'm going to come down. I'm going to set the height of this page to 4,000 pixels. Okay, so I've got lots of page space now. So by the way, every element on the page, including the page, has a control panel. So now as I scroll down, you'll see I've got lots of space. When I get way on down here, you'll see that now this element box is, there's a lot of space. Okay, so I'm going to scroll up. I'm scrolling up. I'm going to put an element in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create basically the same thing that I have up above. I'm going to create it down here where I can go ahead and just delete it. So let's talk about groups. We're going to build a group. And so I'm going to put a huge group right here. And we'll call it group F. We're just going to call this group demo. We just call it demo A. Okay, we'll just call it demo A. So this is a group called demo A. Now I'm going to move it up. I'm going to extend this on down. And inside of this group, first of all, I'm going to double click on this group again, bring it back up, and I'm going to set the width. Let's set the width to 1,060, and I'll set the height to 600. Okay, and that's good. So I'm going to close it. Now I'm going to right click on this group, and I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to say center horizontally. Okay, so now I've centered it horizontally. Now I'm going to double click on this group again, and I'm going to come down and I'm going to apply a max width when the page is stretched. Okay, because I want this group to hold things nice and tight and not let them get stretched out and be full page width. So if we have a full page width sort of page, which is really wide, we're going to limit this to being 1,060 pixels wide. Okay, so now I'm going to create another group inside of this group, and I'm going to make this about 1/3 of the width. And this is going to be group demo 1. Okay, demo 1. So it'll be first column inside of the demo group. Okay, so we're going to save that, and I'm just going to make this smaller. And so what I'm going to do here is, since this group is 1,060, I'm going to leave a little bit of space in between, 10 in the middle, 10 in the middle. I'm going to have 3 columns, so I'm going to make 1,040. If I divide 1,040 by 3, that's going to be about 340 pixels wide. So I'm going to double click on this. We're going to come down and we're going to make this 340 pixels wide. I'll make it, whoops, that's height. We'll make it 340 pixels wide, and we're going to make it 400 tall. Okay, so now we've got this group so I'm just going to Control C, Control V. So I've created another one. And so we've got 2 of them. I'm going to create one more, Control C, Control V. We're going to move it over here. So now we've got 3, and I'm going to so you can see the little line for this at the top. So we're going to kind of fix these so that okay, we're going to make that one right on the edge. We're going to make this one over here right on the edge, the left edge. And then we're going to find this one, and we're going to get it centered. So we're going to center horizontally. So now we have, let's see if we can see these. Here's the one on the right. Where's the one on the right? Where'd it go? Okay, I guess we centered them all. Don't want to do that. Where'd they go? Okay, so this can be a little confusing. So where is our groups? Okay, so let's take this one and this group, and we're going to arrange. We're going to send it to the back. Here we go. We've got a group. We've got a group. Where's our group in the middle? So we got a group over. Okay, send this back. Send it back. So we got a group. Got a group. Looks like we have a group. Oh yeah. So we got. Okay, so we're going to edge this group right on the edge. We're going to take this group and try to find a spot in between. Okay, send this one to the back. They don't stay in the back. Send it to the back. So there's one, there's one, there's one, there's one. So these two are about even. There we go. Now that one's. So now we're going to have to move this one over a little bit. That's going to be about right. Okay, now let's do this. Let's take these groups and make them easier to see. So what we're going to do is we're going to double click on this one, and we're going to go ahead and put some formatting on it here. So we're going to remove the existing style. We're going to go ahead and put a little background flat color in. We're going to make it just a little different color. And so we're just that way we can see the group. We're going to do the same thing with this one. Actually, I'm going to delete this one, We're going to copy this one again. It's a little easier now that we can see them, right? So we'll copy this one, move it over here, and there it is right against the edge. So now all we have to do is just kind of tweak this one a little bit, and I think that's about in the middle. We'll come back and worry about that later. Okay, now, if we're going to build this one out, what we want to do is go ahead and start the process. What I'm going to do is I'm double click on this one, and I'm actually going to come down. I'm going to put a border in. We're going to put a solid border. We're going to make it a nice dark border. Make it a black line, 1 pixel tall or 1 pixel width. We're going to come down and put a shadow here. We're going to put an outset shadow, and you can see the shadows now appearing around this. And we're going to go ahead and round the curve. So I'm going to come up here and put roundness of 20 on the curve. So now we got a nice round. So now that I've got the border and the outline, I'm going to go ahead and just make there we go. See, now we've got a box. Looks nice. So again, I'm just going to now take this, and let's just go ahead and edit some other cool stuff onto this here. Okay, let's just take this one, and so I'm going to give a little bit darker shading to the shaded background, and I'm going to make the horizontal offset a little bit more. I'm going to make it 4, and I'm going to make the vertical offset a little bit more. I'm going to make it 4. So now we've got a nice solid shadow around it, and the box shadow color is this. Now I'm going to show you something that's kind of cool. You can make this whole element conditional so that when it's hovered, so if I go to conditional, define a condition, when this group is hovered, we're going to change a property. We're going to change the property of the box shadow style. Actually, we're going to change the box shadow style. And what we're going to do is we're going to, okay, so change the box shadow background. Let's see, box shadow style, box shadow color. Here we go. We're going to make the box shadow color. Let's just make it a kind of a nice maroon color. Okay, so here, what does that mean? That means, oops, we lost the condition. When this, let's highlight. When this group is hovered, box shadow style still offset. Box shadow color will go to red, and let's make our box, our border color for all borders. We're going to make our border color go to, let's make it really bright green. Okay, this would look very Christmassy. Okay, so now we've got that done. So I'm just going to go ahead and close this. And we're going to go ahead and preview this page. we got to update the page. I'm going to come way down here to where this element is. And look at there. It churns. The border becomes green and the box, the shadow is red. So we've done something just that makes this look like a really kind of a neat little effect. There's a lot of things that you can do with a conditional element. And so let's go back and just look at the conditional element here. So on the conditional, you can do when and a lot of different things. Okay, so when this group is hovered, we're going to change these properties. There's a lot of properties you can change relative to the group when it's hovered. But you can also, when it's pressed, when it's not visible, there's a number of different things. So if we just go ahead and do hovered, now we can take this group and we can copy the group with that conditional formatting. And now we can just pop it in here to, now we've got 3 panels that are all identical. And when you hover over them, they each stand out and look the way you want. So now what else can we do? We can come up here and we can get a piece of text and we can put in, say right here, and we'll put in the title that goes on the text. So this is professional. And now that it says professional, so I'm going to come down, I'm going to do the, I'm going to change the style. I'm going to make it bold, make it center. I'm going to make it really large. Now, if I want to be larger than one of the numbers here, I can just type the number, so I can go 36. That's a pretty good size. But if I wanted it to be even larger, I could type 48 and it becomes even larger. So what happens when I go to 48? Well, it becomes so big that I have to move this, I have to increase the size of the box. So whoops, don't mean to do that. Just go ahead and put it right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and bring that back down to, I'm going to make it, let's see, 24. Yeah, 24 is a nice size. Let's just make it 30. So 30. Okay, so that's 30. We're going to make this come up here. Now we can, if we like that, we can now just copy this element, Control-C, Control-V, and move it over and put it in each box. Okay, and you can drag it up or down. You can size it. So now all we have to do is I can highlight this element. I can center horizontally, and it centers it within the inside of each one of the groups, centers it horizontally. So now we'll make this one, instead of professional, we'll make it e-commerce. And then we'll make this one guaranteed vendor. Okay, and so now we've got a nice, neat looking sort of 3 different panels set up, and all we have to do is start building it out. So we can take our image and we'll put an image in right here. And what image do we want? So we double click on it, and I'm not going to do a dynamic image. I'm going to go ahead and upload a static image. And so I'm going to go ahead and pull an Apricot Rocket Appy Rocket logo here. We're going to put it in. It's going to load the static image. Great. So now I've got the static image. I'm just going to Control-C, Control-V. Whoops, come on. Let's do Control-C, then Control-V. Control-C, Control-V. There's a duplicate. Come over here, do it again, drop it over here. And so again, I can just center horizontally. So what I'm showing you right now is design and build. Okay, so one of the cool things I like about Bubble is it's an incredibly easy design and build. So let's just look at, oh, looky here, we got an issue. Let's see what this issue says. Group demo A states must evaluate to yes or no, but this is an element. So if I click on this, conditional, okay, you know what? I started a condition, so I just need to delete the conditions and then remove. I'm just going to remove the condition. That gets rid of this alert. One of the nice things about Bubble is for all of your programming elements, it tries to tell you when you've made a mistake. Okay, so now let's just go look and see how nice this looks. So we'll come back here. We'll just go ahead and click update, and we should just go right back. And now we should see 3 panels. There we go. Oh, looky here. 1 panel is down below because we don't have quite enough space. So what we need to do is we need to basically make a little extra space. We got them a little bit too wide. They're not quite fitting the way we wanted them to. So we'll come back up here and let's just do this. I'm going to double click here. Oh yeah, go to appearance. So come down to appearance and we're going to make this a little thinner. We'll make it 330 and then we'll come over here, make this one 330 and then we'll come over here and make this one 330. All right, so now we've put more space in between. We should have a nice, this should look, I think, correct now. Oh, still doesn't, still's got something pushed down. So we need to see what we got going on here. Okay, so let's do this. I'm going to put that. I'm going to take this big box in the background, and it seems like we should have everything showing nicely. Let's just go look one more time and see if that little adjustment made a difference. It didn't. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a dramatic difference here. I'm going to go ahead and make these 300 pixels wide. That should make a difference. There should be plenty of space. So now let's see if that does the trick. And it doesn't. So maybe I need to reposition these a little bit. So let's push this one over right up against the edge. This one right up against the edge here. And then this one, we'll just kind of position it in the middle. So that should give us a nice look. So let's go try this one more time. All right, so we still have an issue. And I don't, oh, you know what? There's something hidden up in here. There's something in the background that's not quite the way. There's something showing up that, okay. So what have I got? I've got something showing up here. So let's push this to the background, send to back. What do I have? I have to have something, something showing. Oh, this is outside the edge. Okay, as with every software package, there are things you have to learn and play with to get it working the way you want it to work. Let's see here. So let's update it again and see if we've found and fixed the issue. And we have not. Okay, so look here how that is off to the edge. That is not right. That's, look here, everything here is off to the edge. That is, that's not what I'm, well, it is what I'm seeing here, isn't it? Okay, so we want to center that. And we want to center this. All right, now let's look and see if having that adjustment did anything. Well, things look better. Okay, so here we are out of time. Still playing with Bubble. Don't you just love how you can spend 30 minutes engrossed in a new software package and time flies by? Well, I think you can see it's a pretty cool tool. We're going to do more with it, but tomorrow I'm going to try to focus a little bit more on functionality rather than getting wrapped up in design issues. All right, so we're going to go ahead and come back over here, and I want to thank you for tuning in today. By the way, we are about to launch an incredible vendor directory. If you want to know more, go to apricotrocket.com. And we should be launching this week. I think you're going to find it real interesting, and we're going to give you an incredible value. So please go take a look at Apricot Rocket. In the meantime, thanks for watching Live Stream Lee. Come back tomorrow at 3 o'clock, and we'll do some more. If you're enjoying this, I am. Come on back. Bye.